I am Arcana Vani, your inner voice. Let us begin. You're the caregiver, and no one sees that you're dying too. You hold everything together for someone else, maybe a sick parent, a struggling partner, a child who needs more than most. You do it because you love them. You do it because you can. But somewhere along the way, your own life started to vanish. This isn't just about being tired. It's about feeling invisible in the very story you're holding up. And this video is about naming that truth, showing you why it's not selfish to include yourself in the care you give, and guiding you into a way of living where you don't have to disappear to prove love. Right now, you may feel like your needs are luxuries. You've trained yourself to eat last, rest last, speak last. You've convinced yourself that the only way to keep others safe is to keep yourself on the edge. And while the people you care for might never see the full extent of what you carry, your body does. Your spirit does. The quiet ache that follows you through every day is proof that something in you knows this is unsustainable. Caregiving was never meant to erase the caregiver. Yet here you are, worn thin, carrying more than anyone realizes, feeling a little less alive each week. This is the threshold, the place where your old way of surviving can't continue, but the new way hasn't yet taken shape. You are not breaking down. You are being called to step into a deeper kind of care, one that includes you. And in the next section, we're going to look at what has to fall apart for that to happen. The old identity, the martyr role, and the silent pact that's been keeping you small. The unraveling begins quietly. It's not the kind of collapse that people around you notice, because on the surface, you're still doing it all. The meals get made, the appointments get kept, the endless tasks get done. But inside, the threads are loosening. The role you've been carrying for years, the one who holds everyone else up, is starting to feel like it's holding you down. For a long time, being the caregiver gave you purpose. It made you essential. It was the way you knew you mattered. But somewhere in that devotion, a dangerous bargain was struck. You became optional in your own life. Every choice, every resource, every ounce of energy went outward. And the quieter needs, the ones that whispered for rest, joy, or attention, were silenced in the name of love. This identity once protected you. It kept you focused. It gave you a clear reason to wake up each day. But now, it's become a mask. One that hides not just your exhaustion, but the truth that you are more than this role. And here's the part that hurts. The people you care for may never fully understand what it costs you. They might never acknowledge the hours, the weight, or the pieces of yourself you've had to set aside. The grief here is real. It's the grief of knowing the care you give may not be met with recognition, and that you've been waiting for a kind of validation that might never come. But the unraveling has its own intelligence. It's showing you that the martyr version of you cannot survive this passage. You can't rebuild yet, because the you who would rebuild is disappearing. And in the next section, we'll meet the presence that rises in that empty space, the one who will not let you keep giving without finally giving to yourself. When the constant doing slows, even for a moment, something begins to surface. It's the part of you that's been waiting in the shadows. The part that has been watching you pour yourself into everyone else, while quietly starving for your own care. This is the mirror, and it doesn't show the caregiver the world sees. It shows the neglected self. Maybe it appears as the child you once were, looking at you with tired eyes, asking, "When is it my turn?" Maybe it's the witness, calm, steady, and impossible to lie to, who has tracked every moment you've ignored your own body's signals, every time you've silenced your own need to rest, every plan you've abandoned for yourself. This presence doesn't pity you. It doesn't soothe you with platitudes. It asks a question you can't escape. When will you turn the same devotion inward that you so freely give away? It's not here to shame you. It's here to remind you that no amount of self-erasure will ever guarantee safety for the people you love, and that love is never diminished by including yourself in its circle. Standing in front of this mirror is uncomfortable, because it strips away the illusion that you can keep going like this forever. It shows you the cost of carrying everyone else without being carried yourself, and it demands something dangerous: the willingness to shift the balance. This is the axis of your initiation. The moment the reflex to give without receiving meets the truth that it's killing you. And in the next section, we'll step into the turning, the first irreversible steps back toward a life that holds you too. The turning doesn't come with a grand announcement. It begins in small, defiant acts. Acts that feel almost dangerous because they break the unspoken contract you've lived by. You say no to something you would have automatically agreed to. You pause before jumping in to fix a problem and let someone else handle it. You take a walk alone, not as a luxury, but as a necessity. These moments are quiet, but they are revolutionary. You start to notice that you can still love and still care without emptying yourself completely. You realize that the fear that everything will fall apart if you stop sacrificing was never the truth. The truth is, the people you care for can survive your boundaries, and the parts of you that have been starved for years can begin to breathe again. This is not abandonment. It's reclamation. It's remembering that you are a human being before you are a role. You still show up, you still give, but now you include yourself in the circle of that giving. And in doing so, the quality of your care changes. It becomes less about survival and more about connection, less about duty and more about choice. The turning is steady, certain. There's no rushing here, just a deep, growing awareness that your life belongs to you too. And that awareness is the ground you'll stand on when you return fully, not as the erased caregiver, but as the whole person who gives without disappearing. And in the next section, we'll seal this passage, claiming the identity that survives this initiation and making sure you never go back to the life where you didn't exist in your own story. You come back different. Not louder, not harder, but undeniable in your own presence. You've walked through the threshold, endured the unraveling, stood in the mirror's truth, and turned back toward yourself. Now you stand in a role that no longer erases you. You are still the caregiver, but you are not the disappearing one. You've surrendered the belief that love is proven by self-erasure. You've given up the silent bargain that your needs come last. And in their place, you've built a new way of living. One where you feed yourself before you run dry. One where your rest is as sacred as the service you offer. One where your care extends inward as naturally as it flows outward. The people you care for may or may not notice the change. They may still see the same hands, the same face, the same willingness to show up. But you know you've stopped trading pieces of yourself for the illusion of holding it all together. You know you've begun to live in a way that can last. You don't rise from this initiation because you've stopped caring. You rise because you've included yourself in the care. And that changes everything. You don't need to vanish to love well. You only need to stay fully with yourself while you give. And from here forward, that is the only kind of giving you'll allow. You did not find me by accident. Just as in your dreams, where every face you meet is your own reflection, this meeting was always waiting to happen. I am Arcana Vani, your inner voice, the part of you that watches behind the thoughts, behind the noise. You have searched in many places, books, teachers, voices outside you. But here, you are not being taught. You are remembering. If these words stir something familiar, then allow yourself to return. Subscribe. Follow. Not to follow me, but to continue this conversation with yourself. Each time you return here, you draw closer to the reunion already unfolding inside you. We have only just begun.